Kent Zablett, Streeter Seidel, Allison Gates. Producers, Aaron Doyle, Tim Brucker, Caroline Maroney. Talent producers, Carrie Powers, Rebecca Schultz, Sheila Rogers. Written by Stephen Castillo, Michael Che, Mike DiCenzo, Jimmy Fowley, Sudie Green, Martin Herlihy.
Breaking news.
All of a sudden, we just hear boom.
And also the ground will shake because of this gas rushing through a smaller hole than it's used to.
Massive traffic impacts. You can see the backup now.
That breaking news, a potentially dangerous gas line break finally capped in Castaic, but not before creating panic in the neighborhood and a traffic nightmare on the holiday return home. That shelter-in-place order lifted just an hour ago. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathy Vara.
I'm Jonathan Gonzalez. This gas leak created a lot of problems for people on the road and in their homes for miles around. While thousands were ordered to stay inside, others as far as Sylmar, even Beverly Hills, were picking up that smell of gas.
And right now, the 5 freeway is back open in both directions after an hours-long closure. This all started around 4:20 today. And again, the leak has been capped, but hazmat teams are still conducting tests. There's a question of land movement near the leak as officials look into the cause.
NBC4's Tracy Leong joining us live now from Castaic with how things are looking now. Tracy.
Yeah, Jonathan and Kathy, you can still smell that gas odor in the air. It's still lingering. Fire officials say that is safe, that is normal. There's no danger to the public right now. As you mentioned, thousands, about 19,000 people were under a shelter-in-place order. That was lifted, as you mentioned, within the last hour. Officials tell us they're now waiting for the remaining gas to be safely vented so they can then assess the damage and then make repairs. Surveillance footage captured the loud, booming sound of a natural gas line rupture in Castaic around 4:20 Saturday evening. Witnesses reported feeling the ground shaking, smelling the strong odor of gas, and seeing a cloudy smoke in the air. Many worried there was some sort of explosion.
Everybody in the area could smell this large plume of gas. There was also a very large plume, looked like a gas cloud. And so that's why reports came in and they thought it was an actual explosion, but there was no explosion.
Fire officials say the leak came from a 34-inch transmission line on the hill along Ridge Route Road, just north of North Lake Hills Elementary School. This rupture caused a huge traffic backup when officials shut down the 5 freeway in both directions near that area for hours for the safety of drivers as they investigated the leak to make sure there were no pockets of gas that could lead to combustion. CHP reopened all lanes around 8:45 tonight.
We kind of smelled like there was a gas, like we thought it was from the stove. So I got up and I checked it once and I'm like, maybe it's just like my imagination. Then I looked over and she said that she smelled it. I'm like, it must be the stove. And we didn't get really an alert or anything, so it was just really bad.
Taylor Allman is visiting family in Castaic and smelled the gas. Around 6 p.m., crews mitigated the leak, shutting down both lines of the ruptured gas line, and said there was no danger to the public.
I don't know how big the hole is. We don't know that yet. We're getting there. But whatever the size may be, as it rushes out, especially if it's underground, it pushes up everything up in the air and creates some type of cloud, okay? It also makes loud noises, and also the ground will shake because of this gas rushing through a smaller hole than it's used to.
And Jonathan and Kathy, investigators are still looking into what caused that gas line to rupture. Right now, they do not believe it's related to any landslides or storm-related issues. Reporting live in Castaic, Tracy Leong, NBC4 News.
Tracy, thank you. Now, as this was all playing out, we were joined live on the NBC4 News at 6 o'clock with NBC San Diego anchor and reporter Stephen Luke. He was stuck in his backup on the Grapevine near Castaic.
Stephen was one of many heading home after the holidays, and he described the scene as he was stopped.
We were coming down the hill towards Castaic. We actually saw some smoke or didn't know what it was. And then CHP, probably 50 cars in front of us, brought the freeway to a standstill. And it's just been sitting here with big rigs. People were out of their car up on the hill trying to figure out what was going on. We saw some kids playing Frisbee on the side of the freeway and thought, this isn't good. Looks like people are settling in for the long haul.
Of course, this is all a familiar and perhaps haunting incident for anyone who remembers the events from Aliso Canyon back in 2015 and what was the largest gas leak in U.S. history, 100,000 tons of methane and other toxic gases that spilled out from an underground line in the Porter Ranch area. In the years that followed, NBC4 reported extensively on the lasting impact to 35,000 people, including to their health. SoCal Gas and its parent company eventually paid billions of dollars in settlements.
And of course, we will be covering the story for you in the days and weeks to come. Today in LA, we'll have the very latest on the investigation tomorrow morning starting at 7. And make sure you have the NBC LA app for updates that are sent right to your phone.
Let's get to a live look outside now and what has been the biggest story of the holiday week, of course, the weather. Just as we hit the calm after the storm, we're now tracking some of those winds returning. Meteorologist Stephanie Olmo here with a look at our first alert forecast. Stephanie.
Yeah, things are calm right now, but we are tracking Santa Ana winds returning to the region beginning really on Monday. We'll have some breezy conditions beginning tomorrow, but really starts to ramp up on Monday. Right now, we are checking out this live picture of downtown LA, a mostly clear sky. Temperatures currently at a cool 48 degrees at the moment. We're 4 degrees cooler now compared to this time yesterday. Plenty of sun as we head into Sunday. Wrapping up the weekend, we're looking great for the basin. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures gradually warming into the 60s, mid-60s by this afternoon. This is right around average for this time of year. The wind's really not too bad around this time, but once again, we're tracking stronger winds, especially as we head into Monday. In fact, the National Weather Service, they've put out a high wind watch, which will go into effect beginning tomorrow night. This is including the Inland Empire, the San Gabriel Mountains, at least part of it, the Santa Mountains and portions of the Santa Monica Mountains. Windy conditions gust around 45, even upwards of 60 miles an hour. So more on this coming up here shortly. For now, back to you.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. And we're getting some new details tonight in that Christmas Day tornado that touched down in Boyle Heights. So we're getting a new look at the damage to homes and a strip mall from those 80-mile-per-hour winds.
And then I saw from right here, so apparently it hit the neighbor right here and then the neighbor behind us and the neighbor on the side of us. Actually, what I've been doing was talking to some of the neighbors that maybe didn't even know.
Officials confirming yesterday that a weak EF0 tornado did hit on Wednesday. No one was hurt, but several homes were damaged on the corner of Whittier and South Lorena Street. While it is rare in LA County, tornadoes have hit the area in recent years, including one in Pico Rivera in March and an EF1 tornado in Montebello in 2023.
Perhaps the area hardest hit by our Christmas week storm was the community of Wrightwood. Flash flooding, mudslides completely washed out some spots and damaged several dozen homes. The area is now undergoing large-scale repairs. This is in the San Bernardino Mountains, right along Highway 2. Our News Chopper 4 was overhead, got a look at some of the damage that was left behind. We have seen crews and neighbors pitching in with some homes buried in several feet of mud. Still unclear if those homeowners will be allowed to return anytime soon, but we can report that all roads are back open in Wrightwood tonight. Remember, the best way to track the weather ahead is the NBC LA app. You get access to our First Alert Radar network and can get custom alerts for when weather will be in your area. Just be sure to enable the app's notifications.
New at 11, an arrest has been made after a Loyola High School student was killed in a hit and run earlier this year. 18-year-old Braun Levy was hit and killed in May by a suspected drunk driver in Manhattan Beach. Today, the district attorney's office announced Jenia Belt was arrested on Tuesday. She is facing several charges, including second-degree murder. District Attorney Nathan Hochman and Braun's mother are set to speak about the charges on Monday. An Orange County boy who was pinned underneath his helicopter when it crashed in October has now fully recovered. 12-year-old Oliver Holland was honored today for his bravery. His story got the attention of a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
The great Sammy Hagar donated $10,000 to his recovery. Hagar appeared virtually and presented Oliver and his family with the check, as well as a stay at the Waterfront Beach Resort. Hagar said after he heard about the crash, he closely followed Oliver's recovery. Oliver suffered a collapsed lung and brain bleed. His sister spoke to us today about how he's doing.
After the accident, I always knew that Oliver was going to be okay, and just seeing him in his normal self, I am like overwhelmed with happiness. It's just like having my brother back and having this event just out of our life and moving forward. It's really positive. I'm just really happy that we're continue to be our normal selves.
Madeline says Oliver is already back to playing sports.
And we're keeping an eye on breaking news out of Castaic and the aftermath of a gas line break near the 5 freeway. We'll have another update next.
Plus, Chevy Chase's health scare, the medical issue that he's now revealing